Let's do it live, baby. Are we live?
We're live.
We're live.
We're
Chef
live.
Adam, what's up? Episode 2, Chop House. Today, we are cooking 2 fillets, ladies' night. So it was our mission to teach women how to cook steaks at home. So we're doing that tonight.
Let's go.
We got some fillets. Chef Adam is going to work the simulated electric stove right here. I'm going to do the gas top. We're going to try our best with 2 fillets, and then we're going to swap. We're going to check out our fire and smoke shiitake seasoning right here, rosemary, garlic, and we're also going to use a little beef tallow on the pan. So, first things first, probably got a glove up.
Glove up.
Glove up. Doctor?
No love, no glove.
No. Hey now. Look out. Gonna make us blush. First couple minutes. Boom. So, last week we cooked ribeyes. Ribeyes, prototypical man's steak. Fillets, prototypical women's steak. Doesn't mean that the boys can't eat fillets, but typically 8 out of 10 gals like a fillet.
Lean meat.
Lean meat. I got these cut. These are 1 pound tenderloins that we're gonna cut in half. Fitz, you wanna come over here real quick? Go ahead, chef. So basically, we're gonna cut that in half, and that's gonna break it down into an 8-ounce fillet. At Beef Bootlegger, we sell 8-ounce fillets, we sell 12-ounce fillets. I asked for 1 pound fillets. They can't make in that hockey puck style that we all know and love. This is what came. So we're gonna cut them in half. We're gonna get to work.
So yes, they would typically be put together as a long tenderloin.
They sure would.
And then you cut them up. This is more of a center cut, is what you're getting, 2 center cut pieces.
Yep.
You can tell they're nice. Got a little bit of marbling in there, but very nice and cleaned up. These guys did it professionally. So
That's it. Well, we pay for that. We pay for that. Pick your knife. Pick your blade, chef.
I'm going to give you this one.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
You're picking my blade.
Yeah, I'll take the little guy.
You take a little. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go with this thing right here. So,
He would.
Mr. Fitz and I did a review 6 months ago on this knife. I've had the box for 6 months, and I could not find the knife. And looking for the sous vide, which we did not find, we found the blade. So I'm going for it. We're going to go big right here. Come on in. All right. Boom. How's that, chef?
Pretty nice.
Pretty nice.
Pretty nice. I think you did it. Go down the middle. We got 2 pretty even steaks.
All right. So, pro tip, chef. If I have steaks that are this tall, what is it a foul to press down a little bit and flatten that profile?
You could. It just depends on, once again, your time, your temperature. If you don't have very long cooking time, and if you want it cooked for, I guess, a shorter amount of time, you can always do what people call a butterfly, where you would cut it again, and then you would not cut the back end of it, and you would just lay it open like a butterfly, and that would be an easier way to cook it faster. But the taller ones, you can do basically cook it on all sides. You'd sear one side, flip it, sear the other side, and then just kind of start searing.
You are doing the roll.
You could sear the roll all the way around.
Is that frowned upon?
Depends on, once again, if what you're looking for. Are you a traditionalist? I don't think it. I particularly do not frown upon it. But just, I like the meat to be seared on all sides. But I do understand, some people want it a complete rare. It just depends on what you want. We could have also, instead of doing 2 8-ounces, we could have cut this into smaller 6-ounce pieces.
Yep, I thought about that with the longer one.
It would have been the same idea. That's where people get petites, but these are, like you say, beautiful center cut. So
why don't we do this? Why don't we cook one traditional like this, and then when we go to round 2, why don't you teach us how to do that butterfly style?
Okay. Yeah.
So again, we want to be practical. We want to be diverse in what we're doing here. And one of the things that we learned along the way in our steak journey is everyone's got strong opinions. No one's right all the time, and the best way to do a steak is the way that you like it.
Way that you like it.
That's it. All right, shall we fire up these pans or what?
So you got the gas.
Check out this new gizmo right here. So I'm easy on the gas right here. New Wave. So that was, I think, $90, $89.99 on Amazon. Next day delivery. So we got this. We'll find out if it's any good, but also because we're doing a lot of travel cooks on the road, I figured this would be good. If we go to an apartment and we do some of the events that we're doing right now, we could do a demonstration. So we're out there grilling. It's easy for us to grill, but people back in the apartments aren't going to have the luxury to do that. So I got one electric. Also got the gas burner. Yeah. All right. So.
And everybody has a standard outlet, number one. standard outlet makes it, more approachable for everybody. Not everybody has gas, and like say apartment living. Another thing we probably should have done before we cranking these up, we could season the steaks, let the seasoning sit for a minute. Whether we put a little bit of olive oil on there to help it stick, a little bit of tallow to help it stick. But
Do we want to do a little tallow? Should we mess around with the tallow?
It's not very, it's pretty solid, so we might want to just leave that one for now. Hit them
All
with
right.
just a little olive oil,
Let's hit it.
just to.
Doubling for our tallow French fries right here. Grass-fed, grass-finished tallow. This is 2 pounds. I think it's $10 a jar.
What oils to use, what oils not to use?
No seed oils,
Yep.
ever. It's poison.
Poison.
It's poison. Why? They use all kinds of chemicals to process the seed oils. I don't even know all of the details other than it
Say
used
that
to
one
be
first.
illegal, I think, in a waste product. And then there was some lobbying that went on. They basically legalized it. Instead of being waste, they turned it into seed oils. Then they put it into the food. Then everyone got sick. Now everyone knows that they're poisoning us in the food. Now they're taking it out of the food. And now we're back to olive oil and tallow.
Olive oil, coconut oil,
Yeah, avocado oil.
avocado oil.
I think they also have the highest smoke point, right?
Yeah, you got to be careful with olive oil.
How much seasoning to use?
So we're doing a battle. Did you double up on both of those
I'm
with
doing-
the shiitake?
Yeah, let's do the same steak
Oh, all right.
for
Even
each
better.
application. That way, there's no
Excuse
no
me.
guessing. So as you see, I'm kind of being a little bit frugal, and then you can just kind of come back around and rub the steak on your board, kind of pick up the seasonings, kind of press it in there.
Gotta rub your meat.
Got to rub it.
Rub your meat.
Yep.
Are there any
Some
rules
people,
about how hard you can rub your meat?
there is. It's probably on Google. I'd Google it and see what you find. It's always good to
9
put a
out
little
of
extra
10.
regular salt on there too, just a little zing.
All right,
zang
I'm
here.
seeing mine get a little bit hot. Should we do it? Can I put a little tallow in here?
Yeah, I would say put a little tallow and get that going.
All right, so just so you see what's going on here, guys, tallow is a solid at room temperature. Now, it doesn't take much to get liquefied, so I'm just gonna put about that much in there.
And that thing is rolling. So
This thing's probably ready to roll, huh?
ready to roll.
All right, you're still gonna take some time, Chef?
I'm getting a little bit of smoke too. I got mine on max sear setting over here.
Yeah, there we
So-
go.
So we'll get it rolling. Once again, we're all about, our temperature control. So once that thing, you don't want it smoking too hard or else you're gonna just almost ignite this stuff. Just remember, tallow and some of these, they make candles out of this stuff. It will catch on fire, If it gets hot enough, it will ignite. So just keep
Do you
that
have a
in mind.
favorite, Chef?
I've seen it. No, pick whichever one you want.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. So we'll do this.
Coming in
We're
here.
gonna do some Siamese searing.
All right, let's do some Siamese searing. Let's go.
All right, just a little. Very
Now,
nice.
see, these are thick bad boys. What are you planning to do? What, 5-7 minutes on each side, or is that too much?
It wouldn't be too much, but I would at least say maybe a good 3 to 5. See where it's at. Just like what we talked about, I probably will. Maybe we can try mine. I'll do the sides. You don't do your sides, or
Yeah,
something like
let's do
that. Just
that.
kind of compare.
By the way, the smell right now is amazing. So that shiitake. What else do we put on it?
Shiitake, a little olive oil, and then just some salt.
Some salt.
So this is a
Easy breezy.
fire and smoke
Fire and smoke.
shiitake award-winning rubs. They got all the animals on there, so they're not saying it's just for beef. Let's give it a little good read here. With primary ingredients in this rub being smoked and dehydrated mushrooms, the most accurate description of the rub is a umami bomb.
Umami bomb.
The earthy notes and texture of this rub enhances any protein or veggie it's put on. You don't want to miss this one-of-a-kind flavor. I
That's
agree.
it. Team over there, top notch as well. We met them at a barbecue convention. Badass. Good peeps. Good rub.
Very nice.
Shiitake, baby.
So we were also talking about using different kinds of pans.
Here we go.
One of the big things he was asking, maybe we could do something on this, kind of resembles the Blackstone, a flat surface. My comeback was, it's maybe a little bit, not enough edges. Once this thing kind of starts going and you put a little oil on it, you got a chance for this to kind of pop and bubble and kind of get all over the place. And your surface area is just a little too big. There's no reason to really heat up a big pan if you're only cooking one steak. So it's just always something to keep in mind. You don't have to turn on a whole grill.
Yep.
You can always turn on just a couple burners and get that one side hot. You can always use a smaller pan. Doesn't take a monster pan to cook a smaller steak, even though these are 8 ounces worth of meat. But yeah,
And we were talking about that. So we're always thinking about the prep, the setup, the cook, and the clean. So that was
Clean.
great advice because I'm known for making a bit of a splatter, a little contention at home with the way that I make a mess. So keeping it clean is always a good thing to have in mind.
always all about that one pot meal. You know, as you finish searing this, you know, you can keep your drippings and saute your veggies in here afterwards, or you don't always have to use a clean pan per se for everything. So it's always good. Now we got the fat is kind of moving off to the side, so we're just going to kind of move it around so it kind of can hit the sides of the steak a little bit.
What are the times on that? Like how do you make this?
How do I?
How long? How long are we cooking each side?
So we were thinking about 4 to 5 minutes on each side right now. I mean, if you want to look straight up, his is a hotter fire. You can definitely tell that he's got way more smoke coming out of it. He's also, you can see that the sear is crawling up the side faster than mine.
Yeah.
Same, but he's going to have a lot harder sear than I will, as I can already tell just from that. He could turn down the heat a little bit, you know, so he doesn't beat me too bad over here. But
Craftsman's is only as good as these tools.
that's right.
By the way, so also last week we were talking about an electric stove that to keep a constant heat, they can't really do that. They're moving up and down. Have we noticed any of that so far?
No, I think it's stayed pretty
Just
constant.
saying super
And also, I guess another positive is that it isn't smoking, where I'm still getting a good sear. And I'm not smoking it out, so I'm not necessarily going to be smoking out wherever I'm at, whether it's inside an apartment or
don't want to set off
someplace
that
like
fire
that, so-
alarm.
no, it's never good. Last thing you want to do is run around with a towel.
What you
All
do
over
is
the
you have
house.
a fire in the kitchen because of fat.
You always want to smother it. No water. Salt is always a good. Usually everybody has salt, baking soda, something that can.
Normally
that
I have
can
a fire
smother it.
extinguisher in my kitchen, but
Fire
that also is
extinguisher
not moving.
always a plus. But we're not going to get there.
Don't fuck
today.
it up, not today.
But yeah, if a flame was to hit, say he's probably hot enough. If a flame was to get all up on there, you might create a flambe type of thing. We don't really have enough fat for it to last too long, but
So
It's always
salt,
a
just
vintage
going back to putting a fire out when you do have it. So salt,
salt. It would
never
smother
water.
it.
What else? What else you get? What else is good?
Salt, baking soda. Some people would use flour. It's just something that would you could put it out with real fast.
Yep.
Technically, I mean, you could run the pan right into the sink. It's not going to do much. Once again, it just depends on the kind of fire that you have. Number one thing is always turn off your
Turn off
gas
the heat.
source or your heat source before you get going.
Did they teach you that in school?
Life taught me that. Experience teaches
All right,
you.
I think we're probably 4 or 5
I
minutes.
was
I
gonna
started
say.
the stopwatch a little bit late. Are we flipping?
We might as well.
Oh man, let's do it.
So
Oh,
if you
look
wanna-
at that crust.
Look at that. So you want to compare the two crusts here?
It's pretty crusty.
That's pretty crusty.
Do you think that that's over crusted?
That might be a little over.
I think we're a little over on that one.
You burned it.
Who burned it?
Hey, this guy set me up, dude.
Just making sure I win.
That's it.
So what's the right heat?
Not high.
So right heat, I would kick it down to a medium-ish now.
Okay.
We know that our pan is hot and smoking, but it's also one of those where this would be considered like a Pittsburgh. And that is a cooking where it's Pittsburgh is crispy on the outside almost, charred so hard, and then it's blue on the inside.
So I just recently sold a steak
I
to a
love it
guy
that
down
way.
at the gym, and it's funny that you mentioned that because we were talking today, and he says that's how he cooks at Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
And I was
people love
thinking,
it.
you know what? That'd be great. So
And a lot of-
Pittsburgh, is that, because I know it's hitting it hard on each side, but it is literally giving it sort of the burnt crust?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
It is. I mean, some people won't even use a fat in there just to ensure that it has such a hard crust and sears hard. And it's really, really high heat, smoking hot pan, and a lot of
What's the middle
Outdoor
when they're doing
grills.
it? Is it going to be raw on the inside?
the
Is that
idea-
part of
yeah,
it?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that blue cook?
They want it blue.
They want it blue.
Almost. They want it
blue,
almost blue.
with the crust.
Yep. So I
So
mean,
it
I think
seems
if
like
we,
both of us hit it right here. So I'm also wondering, is this a function of the tallow? Because I've cooked without tallow, just sort of raw dogging it on the pan, and it didn't necessarily have so much. So we're raising the temperature
for
big with the tallow.
tenderloins, you definitely need a little bit of a fat surface,
Yeah.
fat into it. to help speed along the cooking and give it that sear, because it's not releasing any fat. Like with the ribeyes we did last week,
Right.
they were just consistently dropping fat down the whole time. And so we could actually have, just like bacon, you can take the fat out of the pan, leave a little bit in, and it just keeps going. Where these
looking
are so
pretty good,
lean,
though.
and that's, I guess, where you go. This is more of a lady's steak because it is a leaner cut, where most people are thinking about how they would like something more lean, not as fatty as a ribeye. You're going to eat 99.9% of this steak. You're not really ever going to have anything that you go,
No discard pile.
yeah,
No
I
discard
don't think
pile.
I don't think I want to chew
Now,
on that.
now
piece.
just looking at that, I'm
Super
kind of
tender.
thinking that I want to put some butter on the top of that at the
can,
end.
yeah.
What would be the right time to do it? We don't want to burn the butter.
a couple minutes, and definitely reduce heat. So
Okay.
you want it, so that way, reduce heat, let it kind of cool down a little bit because it will burn the butter right away.
Right.
And you can still do the same thing with your tallow. If you got a high enough grade tallow, you could put the tallow on there and use that. Butter just has your milk solids in it that's
Yep.
going to brown and kind of have a little bit more flavor.
Would you pull it off, let it rest, and put the butter on top?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Might be
I
doing some
mean,
of that.
If you like butter, use it however you like it. I mean, you can melt it, drizzle it on there.
I used
at
to
the
not.
end.
I actually used to like it sort of plain straight up, but I've
yeah.
started been using. I'll do the butter at the very end when I'm doing the big thick ones, and I finish in the oven. I put some butter. I put the seasoning on it. That kind of melts off, and then I'll pour it back on the steak. That's when I'm hitting it in the
Depends
oven.
on what your budget is, you know. I don't always budget my butter to be burnt, so I like to ensure that, like, you know, everything I put in the pan I'm gonna technically eat
Yeah.
or utilize. Where a lot of people, you know, they'll start throwing garlic and shallot.
Oh,
and,
they got the whole
and
thing going on in there.
doing the basting thing.
Yeah.
And not awesome stuff. It tastes good, but you
a lot
know,
of
it's just
work.
what you can. It's more work, more cost. How much does rosemary cost? How much does garlic cost? What does grass-fed butter cost? Not grass-fed butter, but
That's regular.
regular. Lando Lakes.
Land
But,
Lakes.
You know, it's
Land
just
Lakes.
what do you want to put in your pan, and are you gonna reap that reward? So we can kind of see that we're creeping up the sides. We're releasing moisture. You know, we're at a good rare right here. We could definitely call this edible. I'm almost scared now to sear the outsides, but I talk the talk. I might as well walk the walk a little bit, I guess.
Oh, you're gonna roll it. You're
I might
gonna roly
do a little
poly.
roll it,
You're
but
doing a roly poly.
just to kind of see the difference. But
Okay, so you do the roly, and I
I'm
will
gonna
not.
put a little bit more tallow in there for
Just
this.
a little bit. Oh man.
Just a little bit. So
Cheating, it's a
Oh
flavor
man.
boost.
the flavor boost. So just a
Oh,
little
man.
bit more to give
That's
it.
it.
I
Chef
did-
Adam set me up over here.
So
It's all good.
We're gonna kick the sides.
Oh man, look at that. What's up?
What do you eat with a fillet? What are things you can make with it?
Anything. I would just say like a little bit of broccolini or some green beans or something simple. Again, this is a pretty nice piece of steak, so you don't want to do something that's going to take away from the enjoyment and the experience of cooking a great fillet. So I would just do some type of simple veggie, maybe a little bit of like, broken down baked potatoes with a little bit of garlic and rosemary.
You can probably cut your heat down a little bit. You're going. And this is kind of where the butter sauces come into play. You know, if you have the time and
Check
the
that out,
experience.
Fitz.
I'll hold it up, hold it up. Show
Oh
me,
man,
guys.
we got
I
that
would let
hockey
that
puck
rest
going
and just
on.
see how we look.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I'm going to come over here. Look out, Chef. I'm just going to come in. And we're going to do a little butter, a little mo better butter.
But you can do butter sauces like your hollandaise sauce, your béarnaise sauce. They go really well with your filet because they don't have a high fat content. When you make a butter sauce, it kind of adds that back into it, adds your flavor.
Now, my feeling is that this is going to be still pretty rare on the inside.
I think so.
Do you ever cover it with a foil?
You can.
So let me try a little trick. All right, let's do this. All right, so I'm
Foil or
going
a
to
bowl,
take over
upside
a
down
little
boil.
bit with my own method. So when you have a thick steak and we're not doing it in the oven, you kind of can gently let this thing cook and steam on the inside. And we're just going to let that heat come down into the steak. Here we go. So Adam hit the sides right there. I could tell that if we open that one up, it's basically going to be too rare for my company right here. So we're thinking a little bit, being considerate. I think we give it
This sounds good, though.
5 minutes. Oh, these are going to be great. The other thing is these steaks are so good, they're so forgiving that even if it is a bit raw, it's still going to taste great. If it's a little bit overdone, it's going to taste great. You don't want to murder them. Also, maybe coming off of the grill, when I've done some of the thicker steaks as well, we did ribeyes last week. But at Beef Bootlegger, we sell a 2-inch thick ribeye. Another thing that you can do if you're not finishing it in the oven, put it inside of a glass baking tray when you pull it off the grill, and you just cover it with foil. Let it rest, and again, that heat's going to come in. It's going to soften it up a little bit.
We made it.
Boom.
Good timing.
All right, so we'll give 5 minutes to rest or what?
Yeah. And while those are resting, we can start seasoning these up. We're going to use a different seasoning for these, right?
Yeah, we're going to use this bad boy right here.
Now, I guess thinking about different seasonings, this one had a nice fine, it's a fine
yeah,
grain.
this is coarse.
Or let me wait, hold it up. Yeah, there we go.
So we got some, it's very finely ground. This one we got a little bit more chunks going on. We got some rosemary.
Yeah, baby.
We got some
Chunky monkey.
chunkier salt in there. So this might have more of the ability to burn as well because of the actual raw herbs and stuff, or not raw, dry herbs in there. But you know, it's not going to be still be good. You know, a blackening seasoning, technically, you're doing something very similar to this, and then you're putting it on a very hot pan to blacken.
Is it worthwhile maybe not to season the first side and then season it after you do a flip? You ever do
No,
any of that?
I don't think so with this kind of seasoning. But we
Alright.
might think about seasoning it or not doing such a hard sear. Would
Okay.
be my suggestion. So maybe
Keep it
start
lower.
off a little bit lower and see how that goes. Just a little drizzle of the oils.
Do we need to change out the oil in the pan? We coming in fresh?
Yep. We want to. I just wiped mine out. Sorry.
Oh, you're
A little
good.
paper towel action.
All right.
We'll wipe it off.
Guess how many times I cook fillets at home?
0.
No.
I eat the man steak, baby. I actually have had a couple, but I just sear the outside, and then I actually make I make like a stir fry. I make a very expensive kind of dish. Finish it off with the veggies.
That's bougie.
Mm-hmm.
Bougie boy.
Oh, that's
Bougie.
So just got a little bit of a sheen on there. We're not trying to go for too much with the oil, and then I have a bad habit of taking the lids off. So
What is the worst steak seasoning? The absolute worst in your opinion?
man,
Repeat as a statement.
the worst steak seasoning is. I mean, to be generic, probably like the powdered ranch or something like that.
Oh man.
I wouldn't do it that way, but I don't know.
You know, I was pleasantly surprised with Grill Mate Montreal steak. I haven't had it in 20 years. I used
like
to have it as a kid. It was quite good.
Yeah, that's a go-to
And that's just a go-to, yep.
for most restaurants. Burger joints. I know quite a few places that they only keep Montreal on the shelf.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they have on the shelf. It's good on chicken.
Quickly fits. We're going to drain the juice back on here, a little bit of au jus. So that's kind of a micro dose of what I was describing before. A little bit of butter. And I think we
Where
probably,
can people get that type of steak?
this type of steak, well, they can get it at beefbootlegger.com. That's the best place to get it.
It's the only
These
place to get
steaks right
these.
here are about 30 bucks, 60 a pound typically. And this will be the best steak that you ever cook at home. That's a filet. Better than Burns, all the guys say around town. Burns is the local steak joint, so that's a compliment. And money back guarantee. Basically, everyone who has these steaks absolutely loves them. This brand of beef is so special, it's so different. If you close your eyes and you said a little prayer, God, put the taste of steak in my mouth right now. Like, how did you design steak to taste all the way up from heaven? This is what it would taste like. And we're going to find out right now.
All right, we're cranked back up. I'm hot again.
All right, we're going up.
I'm going to turn mine from
I'm doing mine 3/4.
Max.
Oh, wait,
sear.
are we swapping?
Oh, yeah, you guys are
Are we
swapping?
swapping?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, bro.
This is like
All right, now I got yours all
teasing.
perfected over here.
Oh, man, look at this. That's
All
it.
right.
I get
Yeah.
credit for the burn, and he gets credit for the win.
All right,
Better
let's
than
go.
Burns? Right here. No Burns. I'm thinking about slicing one of these bad boys up.
Right now?
Yeah,
Are we
let's do
are we
it.
sharing? Well,
I'll tell you.
tell on me, baby.
I'll order
All
your
right.
pan.
Right on schedule,
All
baby.
right, so not too much of that. Let me find the better steak here. The superior.
Oh man.
What makes it superior filet?
Well, I mean, honestly, the quality of starting from the quality of the beef is what you're looking for. It's so tender all the way around. I mean, I don't even know, honestly. The best part is,
I think it's the fibers though too, right?
Yeah.
So basically when you have a tenderloin, obviously it's tender, it's in the name and all of that type of stuff. But the fibers that make it up, its detail, is something that you would be able to feel, I suppose. Obviously you're going to be able to taste it, but when you slice it, when you do all of those things. And it's a very difficult cook because it's kind of underdone and then it's overdone. And it's very hard to get it just right. This is like the Goldilocks worst nightmare right here.
and it still stays tender when it's overdone, unlike a lot of other steaks will. So,
All right, we rolling?
ready?
What's your strategy?
What's my strategy? Let it sit right here, hit my timer for 7 minutes with my greasy, dirty glove hand, and cut these bad boys right here. All right, chef,
We gotta change gloves, dang it.
gotta change gloves, wardrobe change. I'm just gonna leave that over here like a dirty diaper.
So we're not smoking as hard as you can tell. We're not going as hard of a sear off the get-go, is because we're not trying to burn our herbs right off the get-go. So that's kind of the method. Once
What's your
again,
trace?
I'm gonna keep preaching heat control.
Come on in.
Also, like he's saying, texture. They're also looking for coloration. You know, these have good coloration to them. They're not overly.
Let's eat, baby. All right, so,
We need some statements. What are we thinking tastes better,
Ar-
Stu's or Chef Adams?
all right, well, so mine's got a butter cheat. He cooked the edges. So I think we're gonna have a little bit of difference going on. I think also in the presentation, we're both gonna have nice dark outside, a little bit of pink in the middle.
Yep.
What do you think, chef?
I think we're both gonna pretty much nail it.
All right, so come over here. Let's do a little steak porn right here.
Oh, see a little. Oh, that's a good medium rare.
I
According
wouldn't want to do it any more than that, by the way.
No.
So, like, you would not. This is also why I covered it a little bit in the middle. We did not want to cook anymore, so you see the crust that we have on the edge.
Now
Hey, Adam, how do you know some guy who's cooking like that hasn't gone to cooking class?
Look at that finger on top.
Oh man, look at that! Should I do one of those right here?
Yeah, dude.
All right,
Oh,
look at that.
man,
Okay,
perfect.
come on over, gang. Let's have a bite of this. What? First, hold on. Okay, do you want to cut yours, Adam? That's it. You don't want to cut another guy's steak.
So the big thing too is a chef's biggest pet peeve is when a steak hits the table and they go right to the middle and cut it right in half
Oh!
to
Why?
see
What's
see
wrong with that?
to see if it's done or not. So they want to cut it right in the middle and they want to go, it's perfect, or they messed it up. Send it back. And once you cut it right in the middle, it's hard to do anything else with it on the backside. You're kind of either gonna.
Oh, so you would finish it up and send it back to him the same steak?
Just depends on who they are and how they ask about it.
All right.
Ideally, no, but you'd also $30 steak. It's hard to cook another steak for that person.
Yeah.
But so that's
You're not
why
going out
it
of
is.
business.
It's very. These are one of the most stressful things for somebody to cook, knowing
Give
the
me
cost.
that as a real. I need a hook. This is why you never want to cut a steak in the middle and then explain again. Sorry.
When a steak comes to your table, you never want to cut it right in half in the middle. To check the doneness, it's always better to kind of work the sides or let it rest a second just to see how it's going to upcook, because it's nothing more hurtful to a chef or a cook in the back to have somebody get it at the table, cut it right in half, flip it open, and go, it's under. I want it cooked up more.
That's it. 'Cause
You
now you
know?
got to do a new one.
Now you got to do a whole new one. It really hurts everybody's pocket. So
All right. So let's cut
see.
into that.
Let's
right
cut
here.
it right in half.
Let's.
So we'll cut it on the edge here.
All
We've
right.
got a nice steak, but then a lot of times you can eat the edges.
You need a sharper knife.
That's all right.
So this is more medium or?
I don't know.
This
I
is a
think
little
we're-
bit rare.
I think we're both right in there.
Yeah, right up
I
there.
think Stu's is a little bit more.
A little bit more done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe that hard sear did it off.
By the way, these are both looking perfect, though.
They
I
look
think
great,
this is
yeah.
where you do it. So let's
But
get
as you
in
can
here.
tell, the edges aren't as, you can eat the edges if somebody doesn't want to eat the middle. You
Let's,
can always
uh,
cook the middle again.
Let's get in here.
Do it.
Where's Rachel?
Rachel.
Ladies first. It's ladies' night. Come on in. Come in for the kill, girl.
Better cut it in half.
Come on.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, Adam's doing the proper bites.
Yeah, we'll do.
Let's do that savage.
Savages. So the ladies
here
are
we go.
kind of dry.
Here
What,
we
what
go.
would you do
Cheers.
with that?
Come on, Fitz. Get in here. All right. This is Beef Stew's rendition right here.
I don't know who seasoned that, but they did a good job.
And then
That's
what's
a good
the
job.
seasoning of the
This was the
shiitake?
shiitake and just a little bit of butter. Would you add any salt to it? I feel like, well, let's try yours here. That's good.
That's it. I don't think the piece that I had needed salt, but I could see adding some on the inside.
Let's,
It's never
let's
a bad
try
thing.
one of Chef Adams over
Let's go.
here. Okay. Let's see. Okay.
There's a more well done piece on that end.
Chef
Boom.
Adam,
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
take a little whiskey.
That's really good too.
Steak is the new whiskey, baby. Steak is the new whiskey. That's tasting good. This is some damn good whiskey. What do you think? Do you think one's better than the other?
No, I think
Really hard to say, Eric.
I would say
I think they're
They're very
pretty similar.
close.
I feel like I'm tasting butter on yours though, but it's the extra tallow.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean,
It still tastes pretty juicy.
and as you can see, we're not by letting him sit. We don't have a big bloody juicy pile here. It all stayed in the meat.
Shout out the
That's all
Fire
really
and
good.
smoke.
The smoke, the seasoning.
Fire
is
and
excellent.
smoke. Oh, say that again, Adam. Tell us what you think of the fire and smoke
The fire and
shiitake.
smoke is excellent.
Chef
It really is.
approved, baby.
And even though you got a crust, nothing is burnt. You know, the flavor doesn't.
I was
taste
worried
burnt.
about that. I was worried that we maybe hit that too hard. But I think putting a little butter on top or the lard, put the moisture back in it.
Okay, so I'm gonna flip these guys,
This is a dream right here.
and I feel like I'm flipping this. We got a minute and a half left, but I feel like we're at a good point here.
Love it.
Chef
Come
Adam
over
is
here.
helping out.
That's
You
it.
got to keep your always. What do they call that? Your spider senses up. So we got
for
another
the
steak
beginners,
smoothies.
How do you test if the steak is good? You got your poker thing here.
Okay, well, so we got our poker thing right here. We're not even really using it, but 120 to 130 is medium rare. 130 to 140 is medium, I believe, and we wouldn't want to cook anything further than that. We're goofing around that no real man would ever use one of these, not in the kitchen, maybe on a barbecue. So I'm not going to use it right now, but we're going to simulate
Hopefully.
using it. You also, I think, got to take it as you go in here. You got to be a bit intentional, and you want to make sure that you're taking the thermometer into the middle of the meat. You don't want to push so hard on measuring the hot pan underneath it.
Yep.
I think also sometimes you could let it rest and you could come in thermometer again. I believe Michelin chefs are constantly probing. Now, I don't know if that was just the one guy that I saw on a YouTube, but he was saying that, a Michelin star chef is probably hitting that thing 8, 12 times, always probing it. Would you agree with that? That seemed a little bit over
I don't-
proby.
I don't think they. Depends on what it is, but I wouldn't. They're
It's a lot of
usually-
probing.
They're pretty good.
A lot of probing.
I mean,
Very
that's
Fauci.
a good pitch to like what's special about your meat. You know, you don't really need to worry too much.
Probably take it
Well,
with
yeah,
them
sure.
four. I don't even think we're just eyeballing this, huh?
Yeah, four's good. It's good not having.
Well, you certainly do need to. So the other thing is, I would say that we were 2 minutes away from catastrophe on these. I think if we kept it going, you would not want to have done this anymore, and it continue to cook. So I covered mine up a little bit. Maybe in retrospect, I shouldn't have to just sort of show maybe what less would do. We won't cover this one to get a look in there. But this could be way more rare in the middle, and the edges right here, the Pittsburgh style, we got that. Right, so we hit that crust, but we got all the way in with that cook before we even get into any pink. So I would not do any more of that.
I think this is.
And it seems like it's not done on the sides. Even though I rolled mine, I kind of put a little bit of sear on there just because that's my preference. But he didn't, Stu didn't, and it was cooked all the way around. You don't have a raw
Right.
spot. So
And also Fitz, you tend to like a little bit more well done. So again, if we're cooking for the purists, you would not want to send that more done to the table, I would think, or come back.
This is for
it'd be
steak on the
coming
sauce,
back.
huh?
This is like medium and up right here. Like a
Yeah.
proper medium would even be a little bit less. And also, this is a good demonstration. They continue to cook. When you pull it off, it's not that it's done, right? You let it go and it's continuing to cook. On a ribeye or something like that, you don't have to worry so much. You know, we cooked in 7 minutes each side a steak that was thinner than this on the ribeye.
More fibers and fat and
Yeah.
stuff insulating it to where, yeah. And then, like, say, on a grill, you're going to have a little bit more of a, what do you want to call it? Advantage, disadvantage, depending on who you are.
Right.
When it comes to the heat source.
I'll tell you what.
But this consistent heat, this thing is
I'm
doing
thinking
great.
this is badass
Yeah.
right here. So I would be 11 out of 10 on this for my expectation, knowing that I hate electric stoves typically in apartments or any place that I've encountered them. They go up, they go down, and it's a nightmare to have any consistent heat. And this thing is just hitting it consistent 425. So this is good engineering.
And it's nice the temperature control gauges. You know, you're not just doing a dial and trying to
Right.
think about it. So that's a nice setting for it.
Yeah, and I think if we got the instruction book out, real men don't read instructions, but if we did, we could probably program a specific temperature right here. And we got the max sear setting, so this thing's designed for the cook.
That's right.
By the way,
You need
90
that
bucks
sear.
right here. We cut corners on the cost with the air fryer, and I think if I could do that again, I would buy a higher end air fryer. So lesson as we just start to experiment with different things. Don't try to save 20 bucks. Don't try to save 30 bucks. Spend the 100, spend the 120, spend the 140, whatever's up there, 4.5 stars, 5 stars, whatever, because you're cooking $30 meat. You fuck up a steak, you're already underwater. So this is good. I'm really happy with this, and it's totally portable as well, right? So this is something that we can take on the road.
Definitely.
What do you think about the Hexclads? We talked a little bit about that last time. So is a pan in the
far.
kitchen?
Holds heat really well. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing negative to say about them.
Have you used them before cooking in my
Not
house?
a Hexclad, no. I use some kind of non-stick, but nothing like this. And like I say, I do like cast iron, but it's just a little bit. Not everybody's familiar with it, and it can be a little bit more intimidating because of the cleanup and the idea that you're not supposed to wash it and the steps behind it.
Right.
And so this definitely hits. It's cooking very similar. It's got a nice. Oops, sorry. Here, my hands.
Bang.
Nope.
Boom, boom, pow.
All right, so I think these we could probably pull off a little bit sooner.
We're gonna pull them off.
Well, we
Do
gotta-
I want to cover it, or we're not gonna cover it?
I don't know. We can try not covering. I mean, I might just do mine a little roll. like
Okay,
I
so
did.
give yours a roll.
I just like
While you
to-
roll, I'll give it one more. I can tell that's gonna be rare just by eyeballing it.
Let's listen to you now. Listen to him. He's got eyeballs all of a sudden. He's listening to the steak.
The steak whisperer.
Tell me, are you done? How are you feeling?
How you feeling?
He feels like he needs a little bit more.
According
think he's
I am
blue.
the steak. He's blue.
according to his calculations, now this thing just kicked off because you took the pan off of it.
Oh, it knew.
Just so it's a safety mechanism, which is cool.
Oh man, look at Chef Adam.
Yep.
We got every sense involved right
No,
here.
like on boats or yachts and stuff like where this guy's finding his meat these days. There's certain pans in convection that need a specific kind of pan.
Oh right,
For it to
so it
even,
knows.
yeah, so it won't even have a hot surface when you pulled it off. But as soon as you put the pan on there, it'll heat back up. But it's a specific coating on the bottom. Can't remember what it is, but sometimes and that might be something to think of too when you buy something like this. Some of them need specific pans to activate the setting.
Right.
So
All right, so this one's gonna be on the rare side. Let's do it though.
Likes it.
That's it. All right.
now you can see there's not much fat or anything in the pan. The tallow got used up.
Tallow's used up. I'm gonna do my cheat. We're gonna put a little butter on here though. So we'll do the butter and the butter free. Oops, without my glove. Look at that. What a savage.
We're at home.
We're at home. Home
We're at
cooking.
home.
Home cooking. Gloves are for the sissies. Okay, 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Now,
What's the biggest fillet you've ever cooked that looked like a hockey puck? Have you ever encountered one that got to a whole pound?
no, we tend not to. It gets a little expensive. But I do cook whole tenderloins, and then you can cut them in slices. So it'd be the same idea where you're cooking it on the side the whole time. So it'd just be like this thing layered up.
Speaking
So
of
you're
whole
really
tenderloins,
not cooking the ends. You're only cooking the outside, and then you're slicing it.
speaking
No
of whole
way.
tenderloins, this one's on the smaller side. This is about a 3-pounder. This was leftover from an event that I did. So anyway, this one's frozen up. But if you unwound it, it's probably going to be about that long, and it'd be about that forearm that way, and then coming back down the other side. And the tenderloin tips, so you cut these steaks out of it. So these are the center cuts, as Adam mentioned, right? These are the ones that are a bit more expensive. and you cut them down to the tips. The tips are something great that you could make kebabs with or whatever. The whole thing is so tender, so juicy, right? But as you get to the end of it, you're not going to cut out these steaks. They still have sort of that pucky size, but they get smaller and smaller. So I've found cutting them thin and doing something, they're still amazing, and that's a great way to use the tips. What are you using tips for?
Same what you just said. A lot of skewers, stir fries.
Yep.
Anything and everything. Yeah. And then you can same with a lot of times when you buy a whole tenderloin, it's not cleaned up like this. If you see at a store, this is a pure tenderloin.
This is
clean.
ready to cook. That's how they call this.
And that's where, like, if you looked at stores, Costco, Sam's Club, depots, they're going to have two options most of the time. They're going to have one that's clean like that, and it's going to be $30 a pound.
Yep.
And then you're going to have one that says $24 a pound, and it's going to have all this stuff on there. And you got to remove quite a bit, a pound and a half of stuff to get it to that. So now you got, say that's $25 a pound. You save $5 a pound, but you also have stuff that you're not going to eat.
That's a great call out. So if we were to buy the cleaned tenderloin, so let's say these, as we're buying the steaks, are about $60 a pound. When you're buying the tenderloins, it's about $40, and then to get the uncleaned, like Adam is saying, it's even another third. However, almost a half of it is coming off. So the guy who is telling me, so they're probably even cleaned up a little bit, but a ton of it was coming off. So it's actually I shied away for that.
There's more meat that's
kebab-y.
not. Everybody thinks that the whole tenderloin is going to be like these, and that's
you might get 8 of these. You probably get eight of those coming through. Some of them are a little bit bigger, but when we stretch it out, you get 8 steaks that you could cook. I think generally that are about this thick.
Yes, true. But then you also have the stuff that's less desirable, doesn't look like the rest. So it's hard to sell it as the same thing. It's the tip on this end. You got a bigger other tip on this end. Some people try to. That's where you get these people band-aiding them all together.
Just the tip.
No band-aids. So unless you're wrapping bacon around it. But I'm not a big fan of the idea of taking 2 different pieces of steak, putting them together, and then tying it up.
Oh, have you heard at the stores, at the supermarkets, have you ever heard of meat glue?
I have heard of meat glue.
Tell us about meat glue.
I have nothing good to say about it. I mean, it's just the idea that people are doing what I was just saying instead of, I mean, it's not a completely bad thing to wrap 2 steaks together and tie them up, but it's also not as pure of a piece as something like this. So you're going to have 2 edges touching that aren't really cooking. It's just, for me, it's just not what I like.
Yeah.
But the meat glue is a way to put it all together. It's kind of
binding it, but it's Frankensteak. So basically, you're taking Frankensteak, you're gluing it together, and you're presenting it at the point of sale as if it's one particular piece of meat. And I think you bring up a good point as well. So as you cook it, it's all going to kind of expose itself. But anyway, that's a whole thing.
And the moral of the story is that the beef bootlegger is not selling you 2 pieces of meat glued together, wrapped up, tied up. He's only selling you the best center cuts that you can get, whether it be a 6-ounce, 8-ounce, 16-ounce, whatever.
12-ounce, 4-pounder.
Whatever you need.
Only the best.
Bing bong.
No horror movies.
All right, we're turning this thing off.
I think we can turn it all off. I think it's good to go. I think we're ready for the cut.
All right.
What do you think?
I know mine is.
Okay.
But yours a little. See, yours a little juicy on the edges here.
Oh man, well I didn't hit the edges right here. We wanted to make sure that we were able to show the difference.
Oh my goodness, I got such a crust on there. The knife doesn't even want to do it.
You want to use I got my sharpener over there. See, we're a lot rarer on this one. I knew it. That's good.
We learned on the first one. And here I am.
Steak connoisseurs.
Okay.
It's also good to squeeze the meat.
Oh.
Instead of pressing down on it, because giggity.
Squeezing.
Yep. So then
talking
you go
dirty
down,
to me, baby.
And you can get a little bit more of a grip on it, you know.
Okay, so Fitz, is this going to be too rare for you right here?
I will eat it.
Oh man, well here's the good news. This is still going to taste amazing. Now, this was to just demonstrate the difference. We did cook it probably for a minute less on each side, I think, on the thing.
For
but
sure.
Had I covered that in the foil, right, we would have come in, and that would have been sort of pink and not that rare.
See, I have a couple different things going on here. I got this side that doesn't look it looks more done. Then I have this side that looks less done. So I got a good medium rare there.
I'm sending it back.
I'm sitting in the back. I'm sitting in the back. It's not all the same.
Not all the same.
But as you can see, not a lot of fat. And this is where, like, say, those hollandaise sauces, béarnaise sauces goes really good with that. With your asparagus on here, maybe a little twice baked potato. You know,
Twice baked.
I twice bake them.
That sounds pretty good right now.
mashed potato style.
It's not carnivore though. By the way, I'm 195 pounds. I've lost another 6 pounds just eating meat in the
Just
last
eating
month.
meat. Man,
Just eating meat and ice cream. And ice cream.
what kind of ice cream you go for?
Oh man, so we got a Publix brownie moose tracks. You ever had this?
my
Oh,
God,
look
okay.
out, that's really
Moose
good.
Tracks.
But right now we're on a little bit of a Klondike kick. We're just hitting Klondike, so it's
Oh,
buy one
I
get
don't
one
know if
free.
that's grass fed.
That is not grass fed. That is not grass fed. That is Fauci approved. Okay, so we'll do a little cut in half.
Yeah.
Got a little au jus. Did you finish that with a little bit of extra
Nope.
tallow?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so
I just
we're-
kept it a little bit more simple this time. Now once again we got that different spice.
Yeah.
Rosemary, garlic, herb.
All right, Miss
Thanks,
Rachel. It's ladies' night.
So this one over here is on this side is definitely going to be a little bit more done for you guys if you like the doner stuff.
Okay. For the
over
donor,
here.
the getter
Rachel,
done.
which one you prefer?
Oh, here we go.
Oh man.
All right, hold
Cheers.
on. We got to do a cheers. Steaks the new whiskey. Let's eat. Steaks
Yeah,
the new
you're making me
whiskey.
want-
What do you think, Fitz?
Making me
Here,
want
hold on.
whiskey.
Go with this.
I'll go with this rare one right here. Oh, man.
Sorry, I'll go with the same one.
That's it.
Boom,
Cheers,
boom,
everyone.
cheers.
Party time.
I've got-
That's pretty good. Pretty good. Different, though. What do you think? Which seasoning did you like better? First one or second one?
I like this one cooked better.
This one cooked better. This is a little bit rare. Yeah, we might have overdone the other one a little bit. Let's move over to Chef Adams right here. All right.
I'll go for it.
Don't get any tallow on your dress.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Cheers.
Double.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, double shot. That's good. I taste your seasoning better. More pronounced. It's damn good though.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I feel like I should have got a couple more out though. Last time we got to eat 4 pounds of steak.
I think we'll be okay.
We'll be okay.
I was hurting the next day.
Woo!
It was good though. Good hurt. I mean, really excellent.
Well,
I don't think- I think it's like
somebody
apples-
wants to have some steak here.
Oh, Stella Boo. Stella Boo is too old, and if she eats the seasoning, I find it on the floor the next day. Stella, come here. Come here, baby dog.
I feel like it's kind of like apples and oranges comparing the two seasonings. They're both really good.
Yeah.
Both have their own thing going on.
Want to get
Both.
the baby dog? Here you go. You having some steak, girl? Oh, good girl. Here you go. Everybody eats. Yeah.
So I mean,
I actually like the crisp around it, the good flavor.
mhm.
I prefer Adams a little bit better.
Well, under
Too blue for me.
too
but-
blue. I knew it. I knew it'd be that way for Fitz. But for the blueies, this is great.
Mhm.
It's kind of where I'm at.
We're taking a moment for our sponsor.
This Stay Cook has been brought to you by Aqua Beato, the best local alkaline water you can buy. Cheers.
Local,
Well,
even better.
it's from South Carolina.
There you go. Has it been blessed?
Mmm. It's been blessed.
Yeah, come here.
Stressed. Blessed to
Boom.
be stressed.
Blessed to be stressed.
Alrighty.
What steak should we cook next time? So we did the fillets. Hopefully the people at home got some benefit out of this. We're always talking up great steaks, so everything starts with having good quality fillet. Like when we're cooking it, if you have garbage meat, it doesn't even matter. It's going to be tough. It's not going to taste good. You're not going to feel good. So we have all of this really good stuff. But I want to thank Chef Adam. So Adam and I have been cooking now for 9 months.
Yeah.
A little bit. I learned a lot from this man, and I appreciate that. And I think also we had some fun right here. I'm pleasantly surprised with the electric right there.
100%. I think the fun thing is trying new things, taking a little bit of a chance. You know, when you're out there, salt and pepper is always a good base. You know, it's always fun to get a new seasoning.
Yeah,
Tons of seasonings coming out shops.
we did deviate.
I really
from
do like
from
the
salt
fact that
pepper.
we don't have to use any sauces. Makes it a lot easier to think about as far as like how to meal prep with this. You don't really need to add too much more with it. Once again, if you're carnivore, then this is all you need. But
Just philosophically, to come on the back of that, we do that on purpose because also we want to taste the meat. We go overdo it. Salt and pepper is always good if you really want to
Exactly.
taste the beef. If we're doing cooking contests or whatever, we would actually shy away from something that has a good flavor and just to make sure that we're tasting it. But A lot of people talk about barbecuing and these other things. When we're cooking a good steak, it's a total different ball game than barbecuing. Barbecuing is good. However, the cuts are fattier. You're slow cooking. You're putting all kinds of extra flavor on those. They're kind of like sweaty meats that you got to bring out the flavor and do all of that. We want to keep this clean. We want to keep it healthy. Just salt, pepper, maybe your favorite seasoning. Cooking with tallow was cool. So
Yeah. And once again, it's all about heat control, controlling your flame. You know, making sure you get your pans hot enough to sear, to get that reaction.
Yep.
The sear really adds the flavor, and
just to demonstrate, come over here, Rachel.
using the
check that
timer, I
out.
think, really helps all of us. Whether
Yeah,
we
kept us
stick
honest.
with it.
Cooking the crust, cooked it that far in, and then that medium stripe. I think that's a pretty good representation right there. So that's kind of proper medium. This would be medium rare right here. You can see. I'm just going to stick my fingers in there a little bit. And then, I don't know, Adam, what do you think? Would that be a medium well, maybe?
No.
That's proper medium? What do you think?
That's just kind of sitting in the juices. So no, that's very. Yeah, I mean that's depends on who you talk to and how they like. I mean, I hate saying it that all the time, but it really is.
Yeah.
It's one person gets in, they go, "Oh, that's not done enough for me."
That's
I
it.
asked for a medium, and some people say, "Oh, that's way too done.
Oh,
That's a
well,
medium."
yeah.
So it just
That's looking damn good, though.
and
So
you can always cook it again. I mean, like that. If you don't like it right now, I could sear this piece right here, put it back out. You know, now it's medium for somebody else. So,
that's it. And not that we'd ever have leftovers on the fillets, but for some of the gals, if maybe you couldn't make it through the 8-ounce fillet, this stuff cooks really nicely the next day if you want to reheat it, or you can actually eat it cold. So a lot of times, like you just slice it thin and it makes something really special, like a steak salad or whatever. But these fillets are really next level.
this
And
is
again, keep it simple.
what they're making carpaccio with. You know.
Oh,
Eat
yeah.
it raw, almost sear it really lightly on the outside, pound it thin, you know, put a little salad with it, little Parmesan, you know, there we go.
There we go. Well, maybe we should try something like that.
Cool.
Let us know in the comments what steak should we cook next. So in my mind, we haven't cooked a porterhouse yet. So that's basically a T-bone.
Say that.
New York strip. Maybe we'll mess around with something on the ground. Tomahawks. We can get the
Bone in.
tomahawks. The tomahawks are a little bit difficult to ship because they have that big bone, but I think we could do something like that. We'll do something special.
Right on.
Cool. All right, Adam.
Hey,
thanks for the
always
cook.
a pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Rock and roll. We'll see you
Cheers,
soon.
guys.
Let's eat.
That's it.
Let's eat.